My name is Brett Koch, and we've been coming to Harvest for about 6 months now. At about the time I turned 21, started to kind of take a turn. It was all about partying and women, and I guess you could say I got a little addicted to that lifestyle. And somehow I thought, I'm going to move to LA. I want to be an actor. I want to be in the movies. I want to be a part of that lifestyle. And I had finally moved up to Los Angeles, right in the center of Hollywood, and I was living in a house maybe 2,000 square feet, and it had 14 people in it, and we were living large. We went to the best clubs in LA and drained all my money down to about nothing. So I came home, tail tucked between the legs. The idea of moving home was all, I'm gonna regroup and give it another shot. I think the torment of having failed the first time, I just slipped further and further into drinking heavily. But it wasn't enough. I wasn't satisfied. I had a Bible that started opening during that period of time, and I remember just this immediate light through the clouds a little bit, this hope that was really something I'd never felt before. But you know, when God isn't the center of your life, you're gonna fill the void with something, and that was what I did. It was about that time that, right in the midst of all that I met Alli.
When I met Brett, I was in a huge transition in my life. I was actually engaged, and it wasn't really working. It wasn't meant to be. I didn't want anything more. I wanted to be me, and I wasn't really ready for anything serious.
Cut 2 years later, and it was probably about 2013, we had started spending more time together as friends.
I found myself enjoying talking to him. I found myself kind of getting enraptured in conversation.
She came over one day. It was a Wednesday in May, and she never left. Never left. And that was it. Falling in love with her meant that I had to give up the Los Angeles dream. So I pretty much gave her an ultimatum that if you want to stay with me, you're going to move to Los Angeles with me.
I dropped everything, and I got a job out in LA, and it supported us. It took me out of Muskegon and out of everything that had happened, and it was a great distraction. Then the hustle and bustle of every day started getting the best of me. I had even at one point decided, well, this is just gonna be my life for Brett. This wasn't my dream. I didn't really want to stay out there, but for love, I would do anything. And it started turning into, I'm seriously not happy.
We had gotten really at a dark point in our relationship. Alli was doing so much, and my mentality was really poor about it. It was, if you don't like this, if this isn't for you, then go. You're not gonna get in my way. When things were kind of at their darkest, there was a Bible. I don't really remember even packing it. I started reading it again. Quite honestly, I don't remember a passage. It was just this gradual realization, and you know, when you're so far into sin, you can't stand to look at it. It's the shame of it, I guess. And the Word of God has this way of holding up a mirror, and you can't turn away from it. And it was over a period of maybe a week or two, and I would quietly read that while Alli would go to work, and it was changing something in me. I felt this heat in my chest, and like this light piercing this really wretched darkness. And I remember kind of just hitting my knees one day, you know, waterworks going, and craving him more than anything else. I accepted Christ, but I didn't even know what that meant at the moment. It's just that, yes, I accept you. And I mean, when we read about the veil being lifted, it was as if the veil was lifted and I saw the world for the first time. I mean, something I had chased for years all of a sudden was fruitless. It had no taste to it anymore. I just remember wanting to run, and yet I didn't know how to walk yet.
Once we got back to Michigan, I got comfortable again. And I reached a point of trying to fill myself with other things. I searched everywhere for completeness. I dove into being a mom. I dove into being a perfect mom. It didn't fill me completely. I got to a point where it just had come to a head. I kept being an anchor and an obstacle for my husband, who was desperately trying to get me to follow the Lord truly.
We were trying to find a church family. I had had a firefighter friend of mine who had told me about going to Harvest, and he had told me that on a Saturday, and I got out of work Sunday morning.
So he came home and said, we've got about an hour to get ready. Let's go. We gotta try this church out.
You know, I remember immediately being kind of bombarded with people who want to shake your hand and say hello, and these were warm greetings that you felt that there was no judgment there. And then being a part of the worship, the music, and I thought, well, this is a whole different thing. Oh, I can feel the Spirit moving in here. And I knew before we were halfway done with the service that, oh, here we are. This is our church family.
I felt this negative thing that I was fighting the whole time. Like I was uncomfortable in one hand, but like I understood that I needed it in the other. In a way, it had grabbed me right away, and I knew there was something big happening. There was one evening in specific that I was tired of feeling all these conflicting things in my head. I was wanting to purge out the sin. There was nothing I could leave out that he didn't know already, and so I opened my heart. All of a sudden, I had 2 pages worth of stuff. It was like confessing to God on paper. I was sobbing halfway through and wanting God to come in and fill those empty places that I had just gotten rid of. But I didn't know where to go with it. I just knew it was late at night, and I just needed to go to sleep after that. So I had woke up in the morning, and actually that morning Brett had come home and had lost his job.
And came home immediately to a very accepting wife.
I just remember being very, very sad that had happened, but there was something bigger that had happened to me the night before.
Well, I was actually supposed to work that Sunday. Well, we got no job, but let's just go on to church. We're not going to stop now. And it was Baptism Sunday. I think before we were even invited to come up to receive baptism, we were like, okay, you ready?
I was shoving the Bible and my books out of my lap and literally wanting to run up. I had just purged out all these things that had been bothering me or that I had dealt with or experienced in my life, and there it was. I was given the opportunity to leave it. I left everything in that pool that day. Everything that was painful, everything that was sinful, and it's been a new life now.
We just didn't stop. We kept coming, and it was like, well, but this isn't it. I don't want to just be here on Sunday. I want to be a part of it all. And you know, we jumped at the opportunity when it came to serving. Chris and Lauren invited us to start doing high school ministry with them, and I guess I entered into that thinking, oh, you know, all right, I'm gonna help them divert some of the stuff that I didn't. And I came into this and saw so many young men and women who are doing so great. I mean, I almost had to have a pen and paper next to me as I listened to them talk.
Small groups, one huge thing that changed everything.
I don't think normally we're so inclined to, you know, lay out our feelings for everybody, and that was a really big step for her, and she's just blossomed in that.
I don't have to be concerned about approval from others anymore. It's not about what others think about you. God accepts you. You don't have to be someone special. He already accepts you as you are.
I mean, this is never where I thought I'd be, and I'm thankful for that. There's certain things I wish I would have known that a little bit back then. I could have changed it, but then why would you? You know, I see what you're doing here, and take it as an opportunity to grow and learn from it, and we have. It's because of all that I got to be here, and you know, I'm thankful for every step of it.